Namaskar. Hello, friends. Today we will talk some more about the metaphysical question, who am I? And then wrap it up. I is more than the limited body. As a spiritual seeker, I must ask myself the following questions. First, who am I? Second, am I this mind body organism, which I will refer to as MBO here on? Third question, if so, does the I come into existence only after the MBO comes into existence? And does it disappear after MBO disappears? What precedes and succeeds this MBO? Who created this MBO and why? If I am not the MBO, then who am I? I am a bigger, more inclusive entity than just the body. That entity is a singular one, referred to as Brahman in Indian spiritual philosophy, which is one without any other. I, as that singular entity, had a desire to be many and to enjoy the drama of interplay between them. I immediately willed so, and that led me to imagining in my own mind all this creation that consists of myriad objects. This is something like experiencing a dream state. Every object, even this MBO that I was so far considering as myself, is just an imagined object, like everything else in the sentient universe. So, this MBO has no special status for which I should feel attached to it. Every object in my mind is just a transient projection passing through my consciousness, much like a movie being projected onto a screen, or or a lesser show, or a dream sequence. There is no physicality to any object. For example, my hand getting obstructed by a wall before me is nothing but my mind imagining it to be so, my mind choosing it to be so. My mind could very well have imagined my hand passing through the wall as if the wall were a sheet of water. So the opaqueness of the wall, as far as my hand is concerned, is simply one particular choice made by my mind out of the many possibilities. Until my mind made the choice, the wall was conceptually anything and everything. This is something like what is proposed in the quantum theory as Schrodinger's cat being both alive and dead at the same time. Whether the cat is alive or dead is known only when the observer actually looks at the cat. The events that seem to be happening are simply sequences of choices made by me. Then, where is the scope for a judgment about the event? Why should one event be good, desirable, and another one bad, undesirable? If they appear to be so, it is not the real me that is seeing them as such. It is a phony me, a parasite, a conditioned entity called ego. The ego came into existence only after this MBO came into existence. The ego keeps acquiring newer and newer layers through the many experiences that the MBO keeps having. The intelligence that is a part of the MBO keeps identifying patterns from the different events, experiences, and the mind of the MBO keeps slotting those experiences as good or bad or indifferent. Thus, most of the desires that one experiences arise out of one's past experiences. These desires, together with the accumulated past experiences, make up the ego, which of course keeps changing and growing all the time. Unfortunately, our consciousness remains fully occupied by the processes relating to the ego, thereby making us identify ourselves with the ego. But one must realize that the ego is only a result of conditioning that did not exist before one's MBO came into being, nor will it exist after one's MBO disappears. It is important to realize that our desires that keep driving us all through our lives are simply a part of our ego, and ego itself is nothing but a parasitic growth, an appendage that has no place in the larger scheme of things, namely the mission of the singular entity to be many. Our ego driving us is akin to the dog tied to a bullock cart and walking alongside it, but believing that it is driving the cart. Our conditioned mind indulging in desires and undesires is like a child being carried by his mother and not wanting to go where his mother is going, but rather somewhere else. Such indulgence serves no purpose since the conditioned mind cannot influence the course of events, just as the dog tied to a bullock cart cannot change the course of the cart. It is the mission of the singular entity that is running the show. So, if we want to find any meaning in life, we must make an attempt to cast aside our identification with our conditioned mind or ego and instead seek to identify ourselves with the singular entity. I didn't create myself. The I and mine that we as ordinary worldly beings are conscious of is the self identity that we acquire upon birth and that keeps growing as we experience the world around us. Thus, the I encompasses our body, our parents, and other loved ones, our friends and neighbors, our community, our country, etc. This I keeps driving us in the worldly life to do things that please it and to avoid the ones that cause pain to that I. However, we don't pause to think that this I is obviously not the creator of itself because it came into existence after we were born. So, what was it that created this I? Did my parents create me? No, although they were instrumental in creating me by way of the sperm and the ovum that combined to create me. They themselves did not consciously and knowingly create the sperm and the egg. Who designed and set up the process that creates sperm and the ovum? So, the ultimate or the most fundamental creator of this I must be something beyond this physical perceptible world. If so, then that creator of this I must be something beyond this physical perceptible world. If so, then that creator must be having some purpose of his behind creating me. Then why am why am I giving so much importance to the various purposes of the worldly I all the time? Why can't I contemplate on the big purpose of the creator? Or why can't I start giving less and less importance to the purposes of I and leave my life to proceed in accordance with the purpose of the creator? If and when I can manage to be conscious all the time that there is a big purpose of the creator that is not known to me, I may still continue doing things more or less similar to what I was doing earlier. However, now there will be no expectations and tensions about the outcome because I will believe that the outcome will be in accordance with the big purpose of the creator. We will stop here. Thank you. I'll see you the next time. Until then, bye.